Yeah, I moved there in '93, as I said, to literally take a year off as a sabbatical from the rat race. And I was fortunate enough to meet Becky in '92, and she explained how she always had stagiaires, or basically young apprentices who'd come over and work for a year. And I said, how'd you like to have two old ones with two kids? And she said, why not? And so we arrived literally a year later in May of '93, my wife and I, with our 8 and 10-year-olds in tow. And really, I always say that there were a couple key things. One was working with Becky, because she has wonderful domains she sells for and helps promote, and was doing this starting in the mid to late '70s when Burgundy was the proverbial backwater. I mean, we think of Burgundy as this icon, and it is. It's one of the three, if you will, wine brands, if you think about Burgundy, Bordeaux, and Champagne as a brand, so to speak. But the reality was there wasn't a lot of small domain wine coming out. And in the '70s, '80s, and into the '90s, more and more of this happened, Becky being one, and other importers doing the same thing, promoting the wine. And so I was there with her. And also at the same time, it was the perfect time, really, when the baby boom generation was taking over. So we were all in our mid-30s, taking over in family businesses, all had kids in that 6 to 12-year-old range. And so with my kids being in local schools and many of their friends' parents being winemakers, it was kind of the right place at the right time. And then 3 years with Becky, marketing her wines, getting to know her suppliers, who are some of the greatest winemakers in Burgundy, if not the world. And they became some of my best friends because we're all the same age and had so much in common. And so with that, I tasted a lot with them, helping sell their wines, and I learned how to make, not say how to make great wine, learn the important points of making great wine, which comes down to viticulture and frankly, attention to detail from viticulture through the winemaking process. And they were very kind to me in sharing with me the things they've done correctly, things they would do differently. And so through that process of tasting a lot of wines, I often said, Patrick Bize, my good friend who just died a few weeks ago in Savenay-les-Beaunes, tragically had a heart attack. I used to go across to his house with his father on Saturday afternoons when my son was practicing soccer in Savenay-les-Beaunes, because I was just, how many soccer practice or soccer games can you go to? I mean, God bless all these parents, these soccer moms and dads. So I gave up and I went over and I drank. I mean, and ate saucisson in front of their fireplace. And they pull out old bottles and we talk about it. And we talk about the vintage. And with that kind of memory, this progression of different wines, different appellations, different characteristics, and different terroirs, if you will, I was able to learn naturally rather than in any kind of forced manner. Just because you've got great terroir, great vineyard, doesn't mean it's lousy winemaking and there's no terroir. The terroir gets obscured, gets lost